Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Tiana here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of WarioWare Touched for the Nintendo DS. So, last time we've actually not only completed one stage, but also 3 stages into one specific episode. So in some cases though, we've already tackled through Catanano's stage, and as well as James T, and finally Mike. So as a result, despite I did have a glaring issue from the likes of in the last video, but I'll explain more details on this. So today, for this video is the fact that we are moving on onto the awesome stage of all time in any other WarioWare games, and that's what appears to be that familiar face since the very beginning, 9 volts and 18 volts. So, Retroaction. Sup, I am 9 volts. My hot collection of classic retro action micro games are all about old school Nintendo flavor. Sounds convenient, doesn't it? Especially noticeable where, well, obviously we still need to aim for about roughly 30 points tops. So either way though, let's get this thing to it in retro action. So seems like that not only do we get, 9 volts, but also 18 volts since WarioWare Twisted. So, Toy Express. Gamers rejuice. The wait is over. 36 volt man is here. Yes! I got one. We gotta get home. Word. Hustle. The wait is killing me. It looks like they cannot wait able to try something new. In 9 volts house. Finally we're home. This is so awesome! Pop the game in. So in some cases, let's go and insert the GameCube disc, and, well, play it. Take that, chump. Word. Whoop. Kapow. Sweet. We rocked that game. And look at all these classic Nintendo systems. You got Nintendo 64, GameCube, DS, Game Boy Advance, and all that stuff around here, which it does kind of reminds me of us, but except the fact that, well, I don't have the very old school, like, Nintendo consoles as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, for Retroaction, it's obviously involves around on Nintendo classics here and there. Like, you get stuff like Super Mario Bros. Alongside with The Legend of Zelda, as well as the forms of Duck Hunt, and especially noticeable for Metroid, as you can tell, that we actually did manage to be able to tackle for those games before. But if you probably already know that we're most able to redo the actual Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, the original, that's only mainly because of the sound mixing is pretty bad back in the day. So either way though, because chances are though, it's just the fact that this stage is so awesome, and that micro game is actually familiar because it's almost like Gold Digger from the likes of the original game. So yeah, that seems interesting to say the least, especially that how there's going to be a lot of future staples when it comes to referencing other WarioWare games in the future. They're able to actually not only bring back the classic elements from the original game, but also twist it as well, which it wasn't until whenever we get to smooth moves, then you probably already know why. So yeah, that might be saying something. So of course that was the magic hand right here, which, oh, we ended up in a boss stage already. So that was pretty fast. So anyways, here's the boss micro game in 9 volt and 18 volt stage. And this one appears to be Gunslinger. So basically in this one, we need to keep on shooting those cans and just hopefully it'll directly land onto any point marks. It doesn't matter if it's either would be 300 or 800 or 5,000. So, and then once you're done with those, you have to shoot the giant cans and that was it. It's really simple. And it looks like both of those gamers are asleep. Probably they must have able to fell overslept or something. As per always. Whoa. We're late. Run! Go, 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 go! So yeah, they're running late for school, so as to be expected by this point. Or they might as well pop over to that particular familiar house from the likes of the other rest of the guys. So as to be expected by this point. Whoa, you beat the game. You've got the skills, which I certainly do. Especially noticeable how cool that stage can be. Especially noticeable, well, despite the fact that we have to use the stylus the whole time. So, anyway. Oh, what's going on here? Oh god, Wario's gone blue. Uh-oh, that could be only been one thing in mind. But anyways, Wario Paint. Huh, it's kind of like the equivalent to Mario Paint. Although, again, we'll show that off until whenever we get to the extra stuff. So, anyways, let's see what we got for the album. And we've got about, roughly, 10 microgames left. So, hopefully we'll do the second run through for not only get the rest of the remainings of those microgames, but also is the fact that we can able to actually get 30 points for its high score, so we can able to actually get something very rewarding after doing so. But there might be a couple of times there where we'll come across into repeats every once in a while, but that's to be expected by this point, folks. That's to be expected, so... Anyway, so a few things I want to explain for this point today is the fact that today's date is of course the 29th of November today, in this case in 2022 today. Excuse me, I've got something on my croaky throat right now, but that's only mainly because, well, recently I've just been eating custard creams as a biscuits and stuff like that. I know it seems a little bit too much for my liking, but to be honest, I found it's really tasty sometimes, despite it's a bit sweetish, I guess, but I digress. So, as you probably already know, for those of you who lived in the, well, by the way, that was actually post-commentary segment right there, because obviously I did not notice there was actually, the actual microphone segment, which I honestly forgot to noticing this from the start, so, I do apologize for that, folks. But, anywho, though, as a result of that kind of stuff, though, is the fact that, well, if those of you lived in the UK, like I said before, the golf sport has finally been come to add it to the Nintendo Switch Sports. And let me tell you, it's been quite a hectic experience for able to waiting for certain things, as you probably already know about this at this point. And while I still don't own the game per se, because, well, this is at the point where the Me series of games that I used to have starts to fade away. Well, it's only mainly because of how the fact that I move on to, you know, certain other gaming franchises as far as I do enjoy, even try something new, and that's pretty much as far as I can describe about it, so... Anyway, so we have to remember the actual Simon Says kind of thing into its Game & Watch system. Pretty easy when you get the hang of this though, so... Oh, looks like we have to set the GameCube again. Except this time we have to insert WarioWare Inc. Mega Party games, as far as I'm aware. So, despite the fact that we have to insert the American copy of the disc, so, which is a bit strange, honestly, but hey. So, oh, looks like we need to fill up this little block. There we go. So, another thing I would like to mention is the fact that, well, I think relatively speaking though, we only got about a couple of days to go until the last gaming event for 2022 will be on the horizon, which is of course the Game Awards 2022. So, I think relatively speaking though, I think we've actually got about roughly about 9 days left now. So, we're actually getting very, very close to that biggest event ever. So, oh, it looks like we're playing exactly the same game again. Oh, wait a second, because it's now in a different bottom screen visual aesthetically or something like that, and I somehow made that mistake right there. But I digress. So, yeah, because of this though, we're not exactly sure what's gonna be announced during the course of the Game Awards, but I think I should probably let some toy sales were able to mention more about it until whenever we get to the point on the 8th of December for sure. Or in some cases, I might as well be involved in this, if depending on certain stimulations, so... some more cans we need to shoot, so at the very least though, we've already managed able to accomplish that. So much so to the point where basically we got NES Advantage, which I do definitely heard about the controller before, but I've never actually owned it for myself, so as a result, yeah, I've got no complaints about it from the sake of time, so... Anyway, another thing I would like to mention actually is the fact that, better late than never I suppose, when it comes to mentioning certain stuff like this, that happy 20th anniversary of the release of the Pierce Brosnan's final James Bond film, which appears to be Die Another Day. Well, despite the fact that there's a lot of mixed reception to that particular movie, just because of the forms of not only for its, I would say sloppy story, but also with this very, very out of hand CGI and stuff like that, which I honestly have no idea why they managed able to complain about the actual weird CGI visuals and stuff like that for that film at least, so... Oh, looks like we're playing the actual DS model, but except the fact that we have to press that specific button in order able to just complete the micro game, so pretty interesting. And yeah, something's worth mentioning though is the fact that, remember how the fact that in my last video of WarioWare Touched, you do realize about the fact that as far as what both Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have both already mentioned about this ever since in their Let's Play of Mario Party Superstars, which, potentially speaking, we somehow finished that particular game. So as a result, though, for its Let's Play department, is the fact that, unfortunately, though, one of those segments in the previous parts of this Let's Play has been muted. That's only mainly because I just discovered myself about the fact that, unfortunately, though, there is that one specific cutscene that does manage to trigger the copyright issue, and because of this though, there's actually the thing called Mike's Song, so as a result though, that's the only reason why I somehow managed able to realize that I had to able to improve upon that I don't able to get myself my blocked copyright strike, because as a result, I just don't want to let my videos to be affected with that stuff, so, yeah, by the way, if you miss any of those cans, or at least one of them anyway, you lose instantly, so keep that in mind. Especially noticeable when it gets to like level 3, it'll be serious and intense throughout, so... Also, I just really love there was actually a model of Mario Luigi just somehow standing onto this little DJ thing, which is always pretty cool. So, anyway... Basically, what I'm saying was that 9-volt stages is always going to be super awesome for when it comes to every single WarioWare games to me, though, anyway. Well, the only couple of exceptions, though, which appears to be, well, I know for the fact that he wasn't in the, well, specifically WarioWare Snapped, and especially noticeable about the fact that I'm not exactly a huge fan of, gamer, you know, game mode in, Game & Wario. That's only mainly because I'm not a big fan of the actual mechanic, so... Anyway, so not only do we able to actually reach for about 30 points, but also we got ourselves the next toy that we can able to actually unlock, which, it turns out, is Air Toss 2000. Interesting accessory. So, let me just go ahead and double check on... Oh, look at that. We got every single micro games in 9 volts. So, pretty awesome. Especially noticeable that, you know, this stage rocks, basically. So, anyway, so now let's go ahead and move on to possibly the final stage in the entire game. So, let's see what's new for Wario. So, in some cases, though, Super Zero. Yuck. I'm not supposed to catch a cold. Ugh. This is my Super Zero micro game mix. Next. I can't remember. Achoo! I'm taking a nap. And for that silhouette right there, it might be familiar to you for those of you who ever played WarioWare Twisted before. Well, I'm sure that you might able to actually realize something from the start though, until we find out until now. Taking place in Wario's house, much like the beginning of the game. Loach. I felt awful. What would make me feel better? Ah, yes. Garlic. Pretty weird for how Wario wears his pajamas all day. What? This garlic looks funky. Bah, I'll eat it anyway. Oh god, he's steaming up. So in this case though, we need to poke every single of those. Oh wait a second, do I suppose to able to drag these garlic icons or... Oh, so we can just poke it from here, okay. Doesn't take that long to able to deal with that stuff though, even though there won't be any penalties for failing these parts, so... Wahahaha! I turn into Wario-Man! Fear me, losers! And he makes out run for it. So yes, Wario-Man does make a return ever since in WarioWare Twisted, like I said before, which is pretty cool though, especially notable that it'll continue that tradition in the future games, or possibly that will make a return in one of those WiiWare titles as far as I'm aware, because unfortunately though, the ones on the 3DS alongside with on the Switch, unfortunately though, he does not return at all, aside from the Final Smash ability for Wario for the sake of not only Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but also Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS, along with Wii U, and also Ultimate, so... And this is without a doubt the hardest stage in the game, but honestly, this stage is not too difficult, as long as you were able to know any other mechanics of this micro game plays out to be, so... And also, as far as you probably already noticed, is the fact that I apologize for that particular last video, for the sake of the forms of last Tuesday. I blame on the forms of that stupid, my laptop lagging all of a sudden once again, especially because I think my commentary is out of sync when it comes to likely in the actual in-game music and stuff like that, which is so annoying at times, especially noticeable. I was able to actually make things right for most of you guys out there, but it's just the fact that I just blame on the lag, so, once again anyway, so... But at the very least, I did manage to get that Wario from that drum over there, by a few seconds worth noting for. Oh, okay, I almost first thought I'd keep thinking of something else for a moment, but hey. Punch these dominoes to activate that. It kind of reminds me of one of those levels in Wario Land 4, relatively speaking, so... Because, you know, you have to deal with a lot of dominoes as far as this is concerned, so... Anyways, folks, let's get into the final micro mini-game in the whole entire game, which appears to be being nosy, which... Get it? Because you know how Wario is feeling, got its cold fever? And as a result, we're going to be traveling into its nose. And it seems kind of gross and weird at the same time. But honestly, much like the forms of Wario's Adventure in Minigame Mania, this is basically another exploration platforming kind of micro game, which I do appreciate it because I'm always good at these. But the only time it's a little bit difficult though is the fact that sometimes it gets a bit chaotic. So anyway, so let's just scrub this hair off, and sure enough, the nose will just sneeze, and turns out we get treasure. A buried treasure regardless. You're filthy rich. And somehow we just get blown by this little, I don't know what you would call it. So yeah, I get the strong feeling we need to dodge these, because if I get hit by the ground or ceiling, I will lose instantly. So you can't afford to make any mistakes at all. So, but oh no, pretty easy. Bwahahaha. Shroud of then an iron boundary. Sturdier than, yeah, you get the idea about that. I am Wario-Man. Hey, it's a train. I could crush that thing. There's no match for Wario. Lame. And that was it. That's the entire ending of WarioWare Touched. Okay. Seems that Wario got knocked off by the train somehow, and then the credits roll. So, I suppose I could probably be able to actually well, there's one thing I do have in common though, is the fact that relatively speaking, it shows us the actual spinning handle thing at the top of the bottom right corner. That's only mainly because you can able to actually just rewind or fast forward if you decided able to look upon the cast of characters as well as the forms of the actual, well, I would say they only mentioned about the actual the character casts for the entire game itself. So yeah, not much else to explain about this, honestly. It's just, it seems kind of weird of how the ending's gonna play out, because I almost first thought it's gonna go back into WarioWare Twisted ending, as far as I'm aware. Well, mind you about the fact that I haven't touched upon WarioWare Twisted for some time, but either way though, that's, as far as saying goes, that's pretty much as far as I can usually delve it for the sake of well, you know what I mean. So, Numchuck, the monkey, so that's what its name was. Okay, Luna? Okay, never thought about that particular name was actually there. And a nasty garlic, and Wario Virus, and awful virus. So, yeah, that's saying something, alright? Club, the sugar, the club owner, and special thanks, you. Although, that I kinda wish I just have my name on here, which I am Tiana, of course. But, oh well, not the end of the world, honestly, so I guess that's something, I suppose. WarioWare Touched is flying out of stores. It's another smash hit for Wario. Well, yes indeed, because this game is so good. Which I'll explain my final thoughts of this until once we finish up the entire thing, so... Oh god, looks like Wario's gonna get beaten up. Ouch. And he's gone flattened? Okay then. You win? You've been eating my garlic. Well, I don't normally eat that much garlic though, because it's just a bit of a bad breath of bad taste in my mouth. So, anyways, once you complete the Wario-Man stage, we somehow managed to treat into a pink teddy bear? Huh. Never seen that particular animal species like this before. Like, I know for a fact that unlike the previous games, it did show us the actual icons of, let's just say in the original game, it does have a pig, and then in the forms of, oh, there's a nasty garlic on the actual, the game's menu. Which, I'm guessing the reason why the garlic exists is because, well, if you drag it to Wario, as you can see, then you'll turn into Wario-Man. So, I guess that makes sense. So, anyways, 6 micro games we've got left. So let's see if we can able to actually not only get the rest of the remainings of, well, you know what I mean, with micro mini games and stuff like that, but also with anything else to be more specific, 30 points and everything. So, and I think this will be the last time for doing this. Well, not for a while, because as far as I'm aware, that, yeah, we're done with the main story. So it's just the fact that we got some extra content to go through. So, anyway, so for the most part though, I think that's as far as I can talk about for, although technically speaking, you know what that particular mic mini game that we've already come across into on Mike's stage, as far as I'm aware? Basically that micro game, you know, with this group of frogs is trying to able to balance out with that particular crossing the gap kind of feeling. That basically, it does have a name by the way, which is the name was Tread Carefully, which that was before. In Mario Party Superstars, they did somehow manage to reuse that name and put it over into Shell Shocked, which I've honestly have no idea why they'd gone for that name change back in 2021, but as far as saying goes, that's pretty much as far as I can say about it. Although as far as I highly doubt, that basically though is the fact that Tread Carefully is also going to make its return in WarioWare Gold, as far as I'm aware, so... But yeah, and another thing I want to say is the fact that happy 5th anniversary of the release of a bit of a, what's a short film or something like this, which appears to be Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which that was before the movie Coco, by the way, which, speaking of Coco though, oh, there was something related to Coco to me though, with all that skeletons and stuff like that. Well, relatively speaking though, that film is going to be 5 years old until later portions throughout this year. Well, mind you about the fact that unlike the UK's release of the film on the big screen, that we do wait until 2018, so I guess that makes it pretty obvious for certain circumstances as far as I'm usually concerned with, so anyways, let's get into the forms of that boss micro game that we've already come across into, that basically you have to do all kinds of stuff, ranging from get rid of all these weird hair, and as well as trying to, you know, stop and duck, for able to actually, like, well, if you dare touch those little blue, water stuff, all those gross stuff even, basically, you also, like, well, everything else in this micro game is about to try to, well, kill you if you do manage to make wrong mistakes. Like, for instance, if you don't get rid of those rocks, if you touch those rocks, you lose. And then if you're able to get caused by this weird hair stuff, you also lose. And then, also, if you know, touch these little weird gross stuff, as I said, you lose instantly. And also, if you get to the point where basically if you don't get rid of all these weird hair stuff onto its nose itself, you also lose if you touch it if you don't get rid of all the actual bits of hair. And finally, if you dare bump into any ceilings and ground in the actual final segment of that micro game itself, basically you also lose. So it kind of reminds me of Wario Adventure on the original game, except the fact that there's no need for rhythm bass or anything else like that until Smooth Moves, alongside with Gold, and I think that's about it basically. So although there's also technically a rhythm game on there on Game & Wario, but honestly, I'm just not a big fan of that game. But either way though, that's saying something, so... But at the very least, we did manage to cut the blue wire, so that's saying something, so... But yeah, for the most part, I think that's as far as I can talk about. Although, one thing is actually, it's pretty cool about this is that I know for a fact that, well, between Sonic and Mighty have already mentioned about this earlier, ever since in their Let's Play of Wario Master of Disguise, which, by the way, that hopefully those two will able to finish up the entire Let's Play of Wario Master of Disguise eventually, before we move on to, let's just say, the better games every nowadays, for its, you know, Let's Plays and stuff like that. Well, basically, I'm still very glad that Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 7 has managed to finally make its return in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and as a result, I've double-checked on the actual pole vault for the sake of the forms of, there's this channel called Expand Dong, which is basically, it's like a combination of Donkey Kong and Rosalina combined into one with that YouTube channel. That basically though, he did comment in by saying, favorite Rainbow Road in Mario Kart, and the majority of the people say 7, because it's very obvious that Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 7 is without doubt the best one, just because of all how unique it is. Especially noticeable, I just cannot wait until I try that course out again, but this time on a Nintendo Switch, and on top of that, gorgeous visuals. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, very excited for that. Especially noticeable that, well, we haven't got that long until that particular thing is about to release either, so I think it's roughly about 8 days for now. So, as a result, it's actually getting pretty close in between both the Game Awards alongside with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 3 that is actually getting really hyped about that month. So, I can assure you, the only thing we do have left in mind is the fact that we've got the final wave for Mario Strikers Battle League Football, which I don't even know about yet. Especially noticeable despite the fact that most people seemed able to almost give up on the game just because of the stupid free update content-wise. So, as a result, once that's been done over and all, then that will basically wraps up everything in 2022, basically, when it comes to gaming releases, alongside with DLC content, and you name the rest. And also, as far as what Sonic and Mighty have both already mentioned about this earlier, that basically wraps up the first half of the, Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, and the majority of the second half of the DLC content packs, it will definitely come until, 2023. So we've got Wave 4, 5, and 6. So those are the final 3 in 2023. So, God knows, those packs might able to actually received during at some point in certain Nintendo Directs for next year. So we'll shall wait and see what happens. Maybe we'll see one from the likes of February, and maybe another one sometime in next summer, and the final one at some point by the end of 2023, sometime in September or something. But fingers crossed though, fingers crossed. And in fact, relatively speaking though, let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. What was your absolute favorite Rainbow Road course in any Mario Kart game? Because, like I said before, my favorite one still has to be Mario Kart 7 version, just because I just really love the atmosphere, and also I just really enjoy that track a lot. Especially noticeable, despite the fact that I have to replay that track many times on Mario Kart Tour, despite how awkward it is to control. But regardless of everything else though, I think that's as far as I can talk about. Well, I would like to be able to mention more details about other things worth noting for, but I think I should probably be able to actually just do like... Okay, let's grab the coin. So even though that might be saying something, so... And I don't know about you, but... Oh, dang it, I managed to make that mistake. Oh, really? Okay, whatever. At the very least, we actually reached for about... Is it kind of like the equivalent to Super Mario Maker of all things? Although I somehow failed, so... Oh well. Not the end of the world, but at the very least we did somehow reach for about 30 or more points, so that should be all good. Because mind you, level 3, it still is very tricky to pull this off, so... And let's see what the new toy we actually got for, reaching 30 points in Wario-Man stage. So in some cases, oh, we got 2 of these things. We've got the game credits, which we'll save that for last, and also we have the Spiral Meter. Okay, never heard of that before, but at least we're able to give that a shot until specifically the next few videos and beyond. And would you look at that, we got every single micro games in there too. So awesome and fantastic at the same time, so no need to deal with the forms of the third playthroughs or something. So anyway, so we'll have to arrange that as you saw. And basically though, I think there was only roughly about well, let's just say 5 characters I haven't got Silver Crowned on. So what I'm gonna do, that I'll able to actually do this off screen, so I can able to actually find the rest of the remainings of those micro games for not only for regular Wario, but also Jimmy T and Mona, alongside with Kananana and Mike, essentially. So that way, if I do find these micro games on my own time, then obviously I'll show those off, and exponentially, we can probably tackle through other challenges or something like that, but we shall see in doing that some form or another, depending on the actual, uploading schedules alike. So, as a result, yeah, I think that's as far as I can say about it. And also we stumbled across Monster Mega Mix, so yeah, you never know what's gonna be coming, but that's only mainly because I'll save that for later. Actually, let me just see what really happens if you do come across into Wario-Man, if you manage to have a discuss on him. So, yeah, Super Zero, I am Wario-Man. You'll never know what kind of touch control you will have to use in my Super Zero micro game mix. So yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say about it. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of WarioWare Touched. It's the fact that we'll show off the last few micro games of how this game offers us to, so that we can show off some other things. I'll see you guys on Thursday.